Hello, it's Dale here. I thought this is Stones and Rocks Part 2 because I've got lots of samples. I thought I'd show you bits and pieces. And last time I showed this postcard that I bought of the stones and with the skeleton leaf on it, is to inspire me. And this was another thing I did with it. I transferred it using transfer artist paper or tap onto Luchador. This is the Luchador at the back. It's the very fine Luchador. It's really good because I've carved into it with the soldering iron and carved a few holes in as well, just to give it a bit of au naturel. And I coloured it with, no, that's the actual spray in here, and I've coloured the background with some Starburst sprays or some Moonshadow mists or something of that ilk. But the other thing about the Luchador, it's got such a lovely fibrous texture because it is a fibrous paper, not just, you know, any old, and it's lovely for layering. So this light one's really good for layering onto other things and, you know, making little books and all that sort of thing. So that's that one. And then I come back to something else that I did before. I stitched a lot of things, a lot of stuff. I'll show you the stuff I stitched. So I've got lots of maybe scraps and all sorts of things like that, and I've stitched it onto a felted back and layered a chiffon, you know, a polyester scarf over the top. You just can't buy them now, but you used to be able to get them everywhere. We used to sell them for a long time until it all sort of vanished, that little pleasure vanished from our fields. And then I burnt it back after that, so you've got that lovely textured look with the rocks. And so playing around, I simply put them back onto a surface that I had made with my embellisher. So that's wool, it's not a pre-felt, it's very fine, it's actually a very fine background, and link them a little bit to other bits and pieces. Now people always say to me at times, what do you do with all this stuff? Well, you have to experiment if you want to get there. You can't just get your stuff out and make the perfect result. And if you do, well, you're someone a little bit special. But usually you like to, and I like to experiment, and experimenting's more fun in many ways than just creating something. I don't copy patterns or do anything like that. But I'm looking for texture and using the colours of the stones and rocks that I've got. I know I might cut this up at some stage again and put it into something else, but it's just sitting there waiting. This is another one that I've done. You can see the background is mostly, it's all done on the embellisher, little bits stuck here and there that you can't see, but I've put it all together in that way. And on the top I've put one of those textured pieces from a large piece that I made, and some of these are leaves that I had. From somebody I bought some leaves that came ready with fusible webbing on the back, and so then I anchored them down to make a little bit of the leaves and the bush and that sort of thing. But I also used the actual pieces for a frame for a picture, and you can see I've linked them together. That's an image. This is from Okarito down in the South Island of New Zealand where the white heron are, and it was a photograph of the little wharf area, and I put it onto there. So it makes a really interesting frame, you know, something to think about, but in a lovely texture, and it brought up for me what was in the background of where we were staying, you know. So that's that one. And then also in mucking around, I've used my fibres on the embellishing machine and put them all together, and some of the bits that I'd cut up and put back down and stitched it up. You know, this is just a really interesting little hanging piece that could be done. And on the back you can see I've used scrim. So you can see the scrim that comes out is something I say all the time, is that you always want that texture to come back. You won't get it any other way. You can hand needle felt it through, but goodness, that just takes so long. So that's where that machine is absolutely wonderful for creating texture, and I love to use it in that way. And then mucking around, I've just a bit of it's not foil, it's a bit of tin foil, alfoil that I've got, so I've stitched it on, and just to make linking, just trying that little idea of how it might work in that way. So, you know, thinking about what you've got, and tin foil, things that you have in your kitchen or whatever you've got of sorts to use, and you've all got that sort of stuff floating around. And then I've got another one where there's that leaf again. It's very unclear. This is the background is made on cocoon strippings, the ones that iron with, all they need is water as liquid and heat. and I have made the piece of paper, and I've coloured it with Moonshadow Mist, quite dark colours. It looks like, and then I've transferred this image. There's the image there on a piece of very fine Lutridur. You can see that image transferred using transfer artist paper or tap onto there, and then so it just gives you the little effect of over the lines, and that's sort of getting that sort of dark image. So that's that one there, and I'll just finish this little lot by showing you another piece of cocoon stripping paper. It's been tacked and it's been sprayed a lot, and these are cocoons, the half cocoons put on the top for a bit of a 3D effect. So I just hope that that's given you a few little ideas for this week. I've got a lot of this sort of stuff that I keep all the time. I don't throw it away. Keep all your bits, because you never know when you might want to cut something out of it and use it in some way. So see you again another time. Bye.